It's on.
Hi, Al. So I'm going to go through the inspection for you of the findings and also just a general idea of what the grounds look like. There are a few things that I noticed, just cracking in the concrete on the patio, making sure you seal that off. This will all be on the inspection report along with the interior. Roof-wise, I was unable to get up on the roof safely just due to the area that I was in. I did look from the street, and so there's a couple of shingles that are a little loose, lifting up a little bit. Other than that, it looks pretty good to me. As going through, does he have children that you know of, or little kids?
No.
No, okay. Alrighty. Removing hoses from spigots is always a good idea, especially during really cold seasons. It can actually cause additional frost within the spigot itself. I was unable to check the AC today. It has to be at least 67 degrees out, and I know, Al, that we talked about that on the phone when we spoke. Other than that, you know, just seeing it the last time it's been serviced and cleaned would be the nice thing. I'm going on to the main electrical panel. So this AFCI was in the trip position. Just asking them, we do not reset any breakers at all, but we do look at these. If this property was vacant, then we would go through checking all the AFCIs. But since it is occupied and the people are in the home, I don't go through and check all these AFCIs. In a way of just checking these, all you do is push this button. It trips in the halfway position, or the trip position. You're going to turn it off and turn it back on. And you do all of these one time a month due to the Consumer Product Safety Commission and the safety aspects of not having an AFCI working properly. Here is your irrigation backflow preventer. It's all winterized right now. Find out from the owner when was the last time they actually had it blown out. Especially around October time. With our weather, it's been a little bit later, I know. The penetration coming out on the side over here, which is your sump pump ejection line, this shouldn't be running underneath the ground. It actually should be above ground, so you can see that it's actually ejecting that water properly. Sometimes what can happen is it creates that back pressure, and you can get this leaking going on here. It's a very simple fix, just bringing it up off the ground and just ejecting it probably over that area there.
Would it be an idea to put an air gap on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I know that basements, what was it? There's a company out there that actually does that. That's a full on, and it's pretty elaborate. There is moisture damage at this corner up here. You can see at the window. That should actually be looked at. And there is a little bit of caulking and painting to go around the house. But in general, that's probably the worst area that I saw around the home.
That looks like a repair.
It does look like a repair, but it doesn't look like it's been sealed off very well.
No.
This is really pretty.
Should I pause until we get to the next step?
Sure. Okay. So the retaining wall, the block retaining wall is, you know, it's definitely leaning this way. A lot of pressure on this hill coming this way. Whatever water settles in here, it's going to actually push down. I would add drainage holes within the block wall. If you have somebody come out to repair that, if it gets to about 4 feet, you definitely want to put a footer in. So if you're going to make this any higher to help retain that, it should have at least some sort of structural footer involved in that on the bottom there. I think that's it on that.
We're good.
Here is a rough in for a bathroom. It looks like a toilet and also a sink. Not seeing, there's another one for the, that's probably more likely for a tub or a shower, that one there.
That's probably the vent.
You're probably going to have one for also the sink.
For the toilet.
Yeah, and then for...
That's a drain, and you can vent above that.
Yeah.
I've done 100 of these, so I could be wrong.
Uh,
Plumber will tell them.
And then back here is your manometer. That's for your radon mitigation system. There is a fan that's inside of the attic.
Okay.
Yep. And it's working. I heard the fan upstairs, and also the manometer has the liquid in there. It's showing that it's actually working too.
So it goes through the roof.
Yes.
So it was built with the house. Nice.
Yeah.
And they just are hiding it with all their
Stuff.
carpet and rugs rolled up. Okay.
Yeah. I do have the radon test. I'm not sure if the sellers have the documentation on the previous radon results. That's always a nice thing to get from the builder that they would have given to the owners of this property. So I would get this furnace cleaned and serviced. I don't know the last time it's been done, but if they have documentation about it, it's not really too dirty on the interior, but the servicing needs to be done annually, along with the AC. Water heater, the same thing. Every couple years you should have this serviced and flushed, and adding a little additional things, having another shut off on the opposite side is always nice, so they can disconnect this without having to shut off water, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that way you don't have to drain the whole house.
Yeah, no COs, no gas leaks on any of the furnaces or
Okay,
anything
good.
like that. This boot, the drain line is collapsed down
It's
here.
collapsed.
You know, probably bringing it up, see if there's any more movement off of that, but that's the only thing I've seen.
Just from my experience, it's like it could have been the way they initially put it in. It was compressed, or we've had maybe minor movement. If there's not at least a 1-inch gap on that pipe, I usually say, hey, cut the bottom pipe, create a gap, and redo the boot.
And who was the one that installed it?
Yeah. Yeah. That was Guido.
Guido. Okay. And here is your sump pump. And there's a little bit of water down here. I can't test it. There's no tube on. Usually you'll find like those tubes on here. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one doesn't have it, so there's no way for me to test it. There is power going here, but this should be actually checked, you know, especially during a really heavy rain or a snow, to make sure that it's actually turning on. So at this point, I can't check it.
Yeah, it's quite a process to get this lid off.
Yeah, yeah. I always say it's nice to add like an access panel here with some rubber seal around there, so it doesn't ruin the integrity of the radon system too.
Right. That's why it's sealed like that.
Yeah. And then main water shutoff here. You got your pressure regulator here. Meter for the utility company. This is your vacation for your irrigation system. And this is, this is your irrigation system, and this is for your vacation. So when you go on vacation, you don't necessarily want to turn off your main. You want to actually turn this one off up here.
Right, but the sprinklers can still run.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've not seen one of these.
That's like it's a prevent the
It's a
water
backflow preventer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's unusual. Nice.
Yeah. They usually come in like the larger homes, you know. I've seen them more. I haven't seen them in the smaller homes. I don't know if that's just like an added thing that they put in the home.
Okay.
A lot of the screens are missing from the windows, but they are over here. There's
so
a lot of them
there's a pile of screens. Okay. The window screens are all over here. But actually, something I like to do is take the screens down in the wintertime because they'll last longer.
Yes. And there's some that are damaged too.
Yeah.
Not just damaged, but they're also
Oh, and they're labeled. Sharpie on the corner. Okay.
Let's see here. There is some rust going on. This one doesn't have it. And on the exterior of these window wells, like right here, you can see that the rust is starting right there. But on the exterior, you can definitely notice that. So just keeping an eye on it would be a good idea. Not a whole lot of movement or anything going on with
And to me, this would be a normal crack given
The location?
the location of the joint, the pipe.
Yeah.
And see, this is a whole joint that was made to open up, and I can tell this opened up.
It did, and so the seal is actually for the radon system. They seal that off because that's how it does. It'll actually seep through there. And
Yeah.
you can have higher results on your radon test too.
Okay.
I think that was it for down here. There is a few vents that are closed along with uneven heat throughout the house, but you do have some damaged vents from where the plumber came in. Yeah, here, and there's another section.
That
here.
was happened when it was built. I would presume. Yeah.
That's about it down here.
It's on.
So Al, in conclusion, the house is in really good shape. There's just a few things that I would take care of. It's pretty much the typical things that we see on an inspection report. If you have any questions or concerns, you can give the office a call. You can also email back on the inspection report that I'll be sending out later tonight. If you have a lot of questions, I would definitely call instead. It's easier to explain things. So thank you very much for letting me do the inspection for you, and congratulations.